So I'm going to read from chapter 7 of my novel, Out of Darkness, Shining Light. I was as certain as I could be that the arrival of Bwana Stanley would surely mean the end of Bwana Daudi's Nile madness. It pleased me to think that when Bwana Daudi had recovered his strength, we would all go back to the coast with Bwana Stanley, and what a merry party we would be, for Bwana Stanley had brought new faces to us, and new faces bring new voices, and new stories bring new knowledge. For my own part, I was pleased to think of what awaited me in Zanzibar. Bwana Daudi had promised to free me and buy me my own little house, though I wondered how it would be with Amoda, my man. I was just his road woman. He had his own women in Zanzibar, 2 of them even. Then again, I thought, he might wish to be on the road again. I would not have regretted his departure, nor his going back to his wives, for he could beat them instead of me. Perhaps they found him easier to love him than I did, or perhaps with them he was lighter with his hand. I would not have regretted never seeing him again, but only if Bwana Daudi freed me, like he said he would, and bought me my own house. I would much rather have had Susi call on me in my house, but well, he had Misozi. But perhaps Bwana Daudi would take me and Majwara and our little foundling girl Lossi to England with him. He had bought us after all, and the 2 of us would go with him and all that he owned. I call Lossi my little daughter, though she is not mine, for I never could make them stay inside me long enough to grow. They just slid out of me, my children did, before they could breathe on their own, which may be just as well, poor things, for who wants to be born in bondage? We found her abandoned by the side of the road just before we reached Ujiji, poor mite. All skin and bones she was. She had been left for dead, perhaps by a slaving party. You should be a mother, Halima, Bwana Daudi said. And here is one to practice on until you have your very own mutoto. A piteous thing she was, and it took a lot of feeding to make her well again. Not a single soul begrudged her their food indeed. I tried to explain to the Bwana that it was bad luck to take into your household a child you do not share blood with, for who knows what spirits and other things the child may bring. If we were at the coast, Halima, he said, I would have sent her to the Nasik school in India, or even to England to my little nanny, to my daughter Agnes. But what am I to do with her if you do not care for her? He waved away my doubts, and I'm glad of it. She has been a blessing and a boon, Lossi has. That was his soft heart all over. I often heard him lament over his poor lost Chitane, who died before I joined him. That must have been a child, I thought, or perhaps one of his pagazi, but no. This much lamented Chitane was nothing but a small dog, remarkable for having so much hair that those who saw it could not tell which end was which. Drowned in a lake, this little hairy dog did. They were crossing a place with deep water, and one of the pagazi had forgotten to cross with the creature. The dog had swum after the Bwana, only to drown before reaching him, for so wide was the crossing place that it had tired itself from swimming. Bwana Daudi had named that lake forever after as Chitane's water. To think he would lament over a mere dog, over one of those creatures behind whose eyes jinns like to lurk and hide. Now, here was his soft heart again. And this was a child, not a dog. How could I say no to that? He had a way of getting to you, the Bwana did, and to get you to do the things you would not have done. I wanted to call her Zafrene for my mother, but when she became strong enough to talk, all we could understand of her tongue was the word Lossi, and that is what we called her. So there we were, the 3 of us, Majwara, Lossi and me, the Bwana's foundlings. I was that excited to imagine that Bwana Stanley would force Bwana Daudi to give up all the Nile madness and go back to Zanzibar, then on to this famous England. But no, Bwana Daudi would press on and not turn back. They argued about it, the two Bwana, but Bwana Daudi stood firm. He would journey on until he dropped dead if need be. All that Bwana Stanley could do was to leave some of his men behind. And though I had never quite taken to Bwana Stanley and his boiled groundnut eyes, it was certainly a gloomy day when he left us, for he took Bombay and his many companions with him. He left us severely diminished. Among the 9 pagazi who chose to stay were Mabruki and Chirango. Bwana Stanley promised to send more men to meet us as soon as he got back, a bigger party of men, he said, to come with more supplies. We were to meet them in Unyanyembe.